Aloha, it was wonderful meeting you today. Tell you what, a lot of information I'm gonna put in these videos. It's just gonna be as fun, as intricate as you want it to be. The truth of this matter is take as little or as much. You can watch these videos forever. I won't take them down on the YouTube channel. And there are other videos that are not private. This one's private for you only. Feel free to share this with anybody you like, but you're the only one besides me that has the link and nobody else sees it. So these things, you can comment on these videos if you want to, and I will answer them because I have links to everything. So the idea is this. We have 7 notes in a scale. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. In every scale, those note names change. You don't necessarily have to know that D has 2 sharps, F sharp and C sharp. D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D. But what we do want to know is that the patterns in which we are playing right here are consistent. The patterns do not change. So every time we learn a chord, that chord could be played somewhere else for a different sound. There are a couple alterations we need to do, but the fact is, you're in good hands. All of these chords, the chord you learned today and the chord you learned today, can be moved and then barred to create a sharp chord. C major, C sharp, C double sharp, it's a D. We don't say silly things like that. Well, we kind of do, but we don't. I'll get into that later. The idea behind this is we do minor seconds or half steps. When we go through the process of seeing these half steps, we're not going all the way up to the 12th fret, but if we did, we would hear that this note is the same as the open. Meaning it takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 minor seconds to make a chromatic scale. All the notes in between point A and point B, which is the same note. G, G, C, C, E, E, A, A. So what happens is, we don't necessarily do do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do with just 4 notes back to back. We actually have a whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. Meaning C, the thickest string, when we go to the 1st fret and play it, it doesn't make a D. Nor does this make an E, then an F, and a G. It has notes in between. Now here's how we remember what does or doesn't have a sharp or flat. Any note has both. I know. C is a B sharp. C sharp is a D flat. F flat is an E natural. So the way we view it is there are 3 special spots. The natural, the sharp, and the flat. If I pick the note, the C note, from our chords, C major, and I got rid of the triad, the C, E, and G, and just left the note, if I went down a half step, that would be called flat, because I took the note that's at a frequency, has a certain number of oscillations up and down, peaks and troughs between point A and point B that make that sound. When I play a half step down or flat, it takes that whole length and shortens the distance between each oscillation. Meaning in that first oscillation, the first one would have been something like that, and then the second one is the same as that, just a little bit shorter and shallow and a little bit higher on the peak. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense until you see it as this. Then I move that all the way up to its octave up here. That's doing the same oscillation, just twice as fast. There are 2 times the amount of wavelengths inside that same small space as there were up there, which is why it makes the air vibrate more, thusly giving us durations. They decay and then they're gone. If there was no air, methane, carbon, what else is a gas? Just anything like that in between right here, or physical stuff inside the world, frequencies would go on forever because there would be no matter for that frequency to hit. Even though we hear it as an invisible thing, this vibration, it is still a physical thing, moving matter, which is amazing. Another reason. So today our takeaway is going to be that all the chords we're going to learn, C major, D minor, E minor, or E minor, or E minor. There's a couple different ways. F major, which is our chord of the day. We're playing F major in different fingerings. G major, we're playing G major in different ways. A minor, B diminished, and then C major. We do that in every key. You don't have to necessarily today remember we have C, C major, D, D minor, E, E minor, F, F major, G, G major, A minor, B, B diminished, and C. However, the takeaway we do want to come up with is when we play one note, it's a note, a frequency. When we play two notes, it's a harmony. And when we play three notes, it's a triad or a chord. All chords have at least three notes. Other than that, they're not a chord, they're just harmonies or notes. Our melodies are composed of those notes, whether in harmonies, in triads, or in combination notes. But melodies are a use of the different notes inside the key. Today you realize that C major has no sharps and no flats, meaning when I say C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, B diminished, C, not one of those were sharps or flats. I didn't say C major, C double sharp. No, I just said C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. They're all natural. When we move up our scale degrees, let's say just the G major, which has one sharp, F sharp, C, D, E, F, G, 5 notes away is our circle of fifths. When we go up there, that next scale has to have an F sharp. That's the first one we start with. We'll explain this later, but here's the concept. If I played G major, A minor, B minor, C major, D major, E minor, and I played an F natural or an F minor, those don't resolve. But an F sharp diminished, that definitely sets the stage for that resolution. G, A minor, B minor, C major, D major, E minor, F sharp diminished. So what we learn is how to utilize those 7 chords from a key signature to do progressions. In the key of C, where there's C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, all natural notes, I could say a 1, 2, 3, 4 progression is a C, D, E, F. C, D, E, to an F major. That's a 1, 2, 3, 4. If I were to take something like, don't worry, see, about a thing, boom, 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 every little thing, gonna be alright. We've got a C to an F, so we've got a 1, and then F is a 4. But in the verse, we've got a 1, C, rise to the rising sun. That's a G, C, D, E, F, G. So that would be a 1, 5 progression. We'll go over this later, but the takeaway from this is all we really need to do today is remember our chords of the day. Our chords of the day are C major, played by actually leaving all 3 strings closest to your nose, the G string, the C string, which is the thickest string on the ukulele, and then the E string, leaving all those open, played together, make the C major, C, E, G, C, D, E, F, G, get away the 2 and the 4, D and the F, we have C, E, G. That's how you build a triad. You will notice that in suit, if you take all those letters, C, D, E, F, G, A, and B, and write them down in a straight line, with those 7 notes, when you take the 1, skip the 2, play the 3, skip the 4, and play the 5, you get triads. Those are all your chords. When you take that triad and add a note, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that triad plus that extra note becomes a chord. In this example, C major plus the A is a C6. It's also an A minor 7 because A, C, E is a minor chord plus a G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, 7th note. So an A minor 7 and a C6, same chord. We'll learn about that, but the concept means if this is a C6 and an A minor 7, that must mean that all these barred is a C sharp 6 and A sharp minor 7. Thusly, ready? B minor 7 or a D6. Yes, so on and so forth. That is a little whoop over the top, but here's what's up. All you have to do, as I keep reiterating, just do the lesson exercises that we do. I guarantee you, if you do these for 5 minutes in the morning and 5 minutes at night, by the 7th day, you'll have a great idea of where your fingers are on the fretboard, what chords mean, and all this gobbledygook that I'm chit-chatting about. It'll start making sense. So, session 1, lesson 1, exercise 1, spider exercises. We're gonna put our first finger on the first fret of the high string, the G string. Boop, right there, closest to your nose. We're then gonna take our first finger and do the plucking over here. We're not gonna use our thumb, we're gonna get rid of it. So, let's just use that. If you can, look into a mirror or into your phone to watch your fingers. Long story short is if we bend over and we look what our fingers are doing, we have a tendency to bend our elbow into our stomach, into our crotch, into our gut, and it's uncomfortable. And it makes our hand slip, points our thumb up that way, which is incorrect when it should be right in the back, nice and solid, nice and straight. And then it has our arms curved, which makes it really hard to do these things called bar chords. The bar chords are made out of the chords you already know, but in a secondary fingering. So the teeter-totters influence us to play those chords in 2 or 3 different fashions. Here is the C chord. When I do a downstroke, I'm gonna switch on the and of 1, do rests for the rest of the notes, and then I'm going to attack the 1 again with a different fingering. Switch while keeping the right hand going, waiting for the 1 to come on. Granted, playing 4/4 slow is so hard. But if we keep doing this, you'll see why we start so slow. Those are whole notes. They have 4 beats. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and attack, switch. Keep the right hand going. Attack, switch. Keep the right hand going. Play on the 1, switch on the and. You could get this going for like, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes. You'll probably have never have an issue with this rhythm thing ever. It's gonna make more sense when we go to our F major. Let's switch right here, put our first finger on the E string, first fret, second finger on the G string at the 2nd fret. Or we could just spider it all the way up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Leave it there, and then 1, 2, leave it there. Boom. 1, switch, attack, switch. The concept of this is when we play the chord and we layer our fingers on the beat, we move them together. What happens is when you master this, 3 or 4 weeks, they stop being played as boom, boom, and then playing the chord. But they actually start getting played together in congruence, like this. See how my fingers are falling down on the same time? In the beginning, it's like this. That's okay. We eventually will have them so they move and shift together. When they can move and shift together, we can then move them up and make bar chords. That's the whole purpose of this. So start with your teeter-totters, do 2 of them with me in C and F, and then follow this for the rest of the week. Remember, spider exercises, go slow, go steady, get through all of your fingers, do not use your thumb. When you get all the way up to the top of that 4th fret, you're gonna go all the way back down to the 1. The concept is to not lose rhythm or speed. So if you can't go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, then slow down. 1, 2, 3, 4. If that's hard, go 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4. If that's too hard and weird from the hands, don't do quarters. Do whole notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Eventually, you will write your own spider exercises, and they will just be warm-ups. Before you do a song or you play for anybody or you go play out or you're writing music, first thing you're gonna do is stretch out your hands and just warm your fingers up. The reason why I do these, they give you muscle memory, articulation, and these half steps turn into melodies. The process of this is the journey of music. By just getting an instrument, plugging it in, or playing it right away, I think we might lose the construct that the journey to get there is the fun. I hope that through your musical journey, I give you enough information that doesn't overwhelm you, but keeps you right where you need to be. If it's too much information, I'll dial it back. But for these videos, there will be the information regurgitated and performed and replaced over and over again, to the point where we're doing more chords than just the C major or the F major. We'll make ties about the chord that you have today and then other chords which are super close, but they'll make sense because you and I have the vocabulary in our tool bag to communicate musically. I super enjoyed meeting you this week. Make sure when you do your spider exercises, you keep your fingers in between and that your fingers aren't flying off the fretboard, everything nice and quick. Use your pointer finger, and if need be, put your thumb on the string you just played so you don't hit it accidentally. When doing the teeter-totters, go super slow. One, switch, rest, rest, rest. This is a 1-finger chord, works well. This is a 2-finger chord, works kind of well. When we get to our G major, which is on the 2nd fret, 1st finger on the C, second finger on the A to make these awesome bookends, leaving a string in between, and then we wrap that 3rd finger around for the 3rd fret. This is a 3-note. So when we go 1 and 2 and 3, bring the pinky on. 1 and 2. See what I was talking about, the layering effect? All of these have basically 3 notes that go down. When we do our rest thing, we'll be layering a finger. And what happens is when you speed these up, your fingers stop layering and they start going all together, which is what we want. So that's the purpose of spiders, and that's the purpose of teeter-totters. I hope you really enjoyed today, and I really enjoyed seeing you. We'll see you when we get to it. Look at the schedule, look at the website, and if I have an opening, just give me a text on my text number or an email, and I'll get back to you promptly. Aloha!